Bowl team and now these haters salty. Rockin' Zenny shades to the championship ship. That Nick Bosa drop him hard like a hit stick. The Jimmy Ward intercept him with a pick six. Like Debo, we gon' knock him like a brick. The Trey Lance play action to a drop back. When the blitz coming quick, the old line gon' block that. RPO with Kyle Hughes, Juice, Mitchell and George Kittle, can't nobody stop that. Stand behind Kyle Shanny all the way, it's like a game of chess when he call the play, Brendan Ayuk on the slender fade. Bang, bang, Niner gang all day, I'm talking big body trim.
All right, videos courtesy of NFL.com. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to IE Sports Radio. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and your girl Bex. We are the East Coast Red and Gold. How's everyone doing?
All right.
You made
surviving and or thriving, one or the other. I don't know.
All right. So without further ado, let's bring on our special guest, Travis King.
Hey.
Hey.
Did we hear him already? That's weird.
I know, right?
I
forgot you guys had me on your intro.
He's live and in studio.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome back, Travis. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right. So we're just going to jump right into it.
Do it.
Since you've been on our show last in October, a lot's happened. We had 3 injured starting quarterbacks. We went to the NFC Championship game, unfortunately lost. Now we're at the off season. We allegedly have a quarterback competition. People are ripping out their hair because they hear the word competing. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like we've had quarterback controversy since Steve Young went down. That's how I feel. Seriously, it's
since Aeneas Williams hit him, man.
It's a revolving door of quarterbacks. So to me, it's just another offseason being a 49er fan. It's nothing new.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. Today, Ian Rappaport had tweeted. Let me pull up the tweet here. That the 49ers have received inquiries from several teams looking into a potential trade for former number 3 pick, Trey Lance. Guys, thoughts, comments? Take it away.
First of all, it's the offseason, so they need clickbait. That's my first initial reaction, is they need something
Week
to
the draft
draw attention. And the second thing is every team is always answering their phone. It doesn't mean that they're interested in just giving away the farm. Okay. If the Kansas City Chiefs called right now and said, give me Nick Bosa, Trey Lance, Elijah Mitchell, and 2 picks, and we'll give you a Patrick Mahomes, the Niners are going to listen. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Probability? No, absolutely not. Is it possible Trey Lance could be traded? Anybody could be traded. I don't think anybody's safe. But I just think people are bored in the offseason.
Even the coaches would trade themselves, they said. Coach and GM, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch.
Coaches have been traded
in
before.
charge. Yeah.
Say it again.
Coaches have been traded before. John Gruden was traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Belichick was traded from the Jets to the Patriots.
See, it happens.
Sean Payton.
Those are first rounders. Sean Payton was just traded.
Yeah.
Right? The rights,
Yeah.
the rights to Sean Payton were just because he retired.
Right.
But whatever. You never know what could be happening.
Hey, look, we just established some clickbait. We're gonna say Kyle Shanahan being traded, and then everyone's just gonna come
potential trade.
Run with it.
49ers taking calls on a Kyle Shanahan trade.
Exactly.
Right? They're not
East Coast red and gold.
They're letting him go to voicemail.
Right here first.
But
I
People
think
will be
my-
ready to slit your tires.
I think my heart just skipped a beat, Travis, when you said that.
I think I just saw Kyle move a little bit behind your shoulder there.
Yeah.
Kind of
It
did a
made
little.
my heart skip a beat a little bit.
Yeah.
after everything we've tried to do with the show and not be all like hot takey and clickbaity, like it would be like our luck that like one fake thing got out and like that would be what it was, right? And it catches like wildfire. That's what would happen.
Clickbait. That's what the pros do.
I mean, there's
Yeah,
no like
clip that he puts up on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Breaking news: the Niners are taking calls on Kyle Shanahan.
I mean,
Should
let's
make
look
some
at this from a realistic perspective too, right? I think a lot of the teams in this draft don't feel confident in the quarterbacks in this draft, which is why Bryce Young went from I'm not going to be number one to odds-on betting favorite number one. I mean, 3 weeks ago, you could get him at plus 350 at any sports book in America to be the number one pick. That means for folks that don't bet, if you put $100 on the table and Bryce Young is called number one, they will hand you back $350 as opposed to your 100. Okay, that's a pretty good odd. You know, that's good stuff there. Stuff has changed. Now all of a sudden Trey Lance is on the move. Like, this could be a lot of different things. This could be Trey Lance's agent trying to drum up interest, right? That's why they talk to these guys, the Schefters and the rap sheets, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Rodgers' agent did the same thing, last draft, if I remember correctly. So, you know, even though Aaron Rodgers doesn't know anything about it. But that's how that stuff works. That's how these guys go. This is how these guys get that information. They're not getting that information just to drop it out there. It's being given to them. Now, whether it's true or not is an entirely different scenario.
Yeah.
But they can be given that information. They can be like, hey, this is what's happening. Would I be shocked that the 49ers have gotten trade offers on Trey Lance? Absolutely not.
Of course they
Makes
have.
sense, right? And from a 49ers perspective, it makes sense. If you believe in Brock Purdy and you think he's going to be healthy, and Brock Purdy's salary is way lower than Trey Lance's, right? And it's not like Trey Lance is super overpaid, but like there's a big difference there from there's just a big thing. And he's not even he's not even on the 53 man with his with his
he wouldn't
salary.
even clear. He wouldn't even clear. He'd be on he wouldn't even hit the cap space at all.
So you take that and compare that to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts and all these other guys that are going to have exorbitant cap numbers at some point. Brock Purdy can't even have an exorbitant cap number for another 3 years. So
I mean, it just boils down to if Brock Purdy's healthy or not.
Right. That's what it boils down to. That's their hope. Their hope is Brock Purdy's healthy and they can get behind him because they feel like they believe in him. And if somebody makes them a sweet enough offer for Trey Lance, I don't think it's a thing that they don't believe in him. I just think they believe in Brock more than they would get what they could for Trey. But I think they've learned their lesson. I can't imagine they're going to be dealing depth out of the QB room at this point. It just doesn't. You'd have to be bowled over.
Unless there's some, there's still people out there who think Tom Brady's out there just kind of hanging on, waiting to see what's happening over here. So, we never know what's really going on behind the scenes. Kyle and they know what's up, and we're all just spectators watching. But maybe they know something we don't. Maybe Tom Brady's over there like, "Hey, man, look, I will come back to y'all." And then now it's like, "All right, cool. Let's make some room for you." And then boom. Tom Brady, Trey Lance gone, Tom Brady, Brock Purdy's out for who knows how long, and then there you go. Is anybody mad at that? If you could trade Trey Lance for like a 2nd round pick, or maybe you trade Trey and a 3rd round pick, and you move up to the late 1st, and then you go and sign Tom Brady, I don't think anybody would be mad at that.
Oh, somebody would be mad at it.
Have you met this fan base?
Yeah, somebody would be mad at it.
There will definitely be people mad at that.
Somebody would be horrifically annoyed.
I'm pro Trey personally. I was hoping we drafted him. We did draft him. I was excited. I was glad that we sat him for a year so he could develop. I put out a clip about quarterbacks who take time to develop and how it's so beneficial, for their future. So I'm pro that. But when he got injured, week 2, that's difficult that's a tough pill to swallow. Right?
It's a tough break.
Yeah, definitely.
Literally.
But the key words though with the Trey Lance news rumor is that we're taking calls, we're not making the calls.
Yeah.
That's what people seem to forget.
Exactly.
So as we're all saying here, this is the off season. This is what happens. Teams call and inquire about players.
The same thing happened last year with Debo.
Same thing happened last year.
Same situation.
Yeah.
Identical.
Right? But hold on. Let's not make it seem like, and that's what this tweet made it seem like the 49ers only got a call about Trey Lance. Guess what?
A bunch,
They got calls about other players too.
of
About
course.
everyone. Yep.
Brandon
Of
Ayuk is
course.
on the last year of his contract. You don't think they called about teams that need a wide receiver called about BA? There are a lot of teams that need an edge rusher, a defensive end. You don't think they called about Nick Bosa?
Of course.
There's
These
a lot
teams
of teams
are
with
bored
cap
in the
space that
offseason,
can
too.
sign him. Exactly. It's what you do. You just inquire. And these is how these conversations go. Hey, John, this is Ty. I'm with the Bears. Yeah. You know, I know you guys like Nick Bosa, but if there's any reason, any way that you can't fit him under the cap, we'd be willing to give you an offer for him.
Exactly.
So hey, just think about that and get back to me in the future. Okay, thanks.
100%.
Here's John Lynch. Okay, gotcha. Click. There you go.
I
That's
agree.
the
Tweet that.
conversation.
They
I
just took
agree.
a call on Nick Bosa, correct?
There you go.
Yep,
That's
there's a tweet.
Ty just did a simulation for you, and then
There you
I
go.
tweeted it, and we've
You're
all
welcome.
seen it. Okay,
There you
So
go.
that's the entire news cycle of the National Football League. Everybody. Congratulations.
That's what happened.
We are
100%.
8 days from the draft. They already know who the number 1 pick is. Okay, they've been beating you over the head with this NFL draft for approximately 4 months. Okay, ever since Kansas City stopped licking barbecue off their fingers after the parade. Okay, as soon as that was done, draft. Aaron Rodgers, draft. Lamar Jackson occasionally, draft.
Yeah.
But it's genius though, because we know that this is happening and we still fall victim of it and we still talk
It's
about it. So,
it's horrific. That's what makes us suckers. Okay,
Because
but
people feed the beast.
right.
Well, Lamar
Let's go
wheels
right
seemed
into
to slow down this week, though. I haven't heard his name all week, at
Who's
least
that?
not
Whole-
anything that I saw.
That's another thing that's on hold till the draft, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody that doesn't get the guy that they want, if they decide they want to go after him, that's fine. To me, as soon as they signed OBJ, that to me signaled
Yeah,
to me that they're
exactly.
going to figure out a way to get something done, whether they just get him in for a year. I think July 17th is the deadline that they have to sign him to a long-term deal. If not,
Yep.
he can only play on the franchise tag this year, or he can play on a one-year deal of whatever they want to give him. They could give him $55 million just to play this year. And he may just be like, yo, give me 50 mil and I'll play this year. If not, pound sand. Like, I honestly think there's a 50-50 shot that he doesn't play at all this year, even with OBJ. So,
maybe. But to your point,
'cause-
I agree. I don't think OBJ signs without knowing that a deal is about to be done. That's the only way he signs. He's not going to go to who's Hutley, the backup. He's not going to go risk the future of his career in another contract with that. Absolutely.
I would have
not.
thought so,
Who's
but
last
the
guy?
there's one thing though that does step back here, because he had a chance to go see the Jets, right? He had a trip all lined up. I'm going to go see the Jets, and we know who's coming in there, and blah 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 blah, and he canceled it. And
They
I'm
might have
pretty
not
sure
been
the
offering
Ravens
him
just
money though.
yeah, I think they dumped as much money as they possibly could on him, and he probably couldn't say no. So he probably, at the end of the day, my guess is he probably assumes that Lamar is going to sign. He's talked to Lamar and the whole thing, and that's great. But I don't know. Teams sometimes do stupid things, and I could see them doing stupid things in this. So
I agree.
be real interested. I'll be real interested to see if they pull something out of the draft. What if they grab a quarterback in the draft, or they trade for
Hey,
another
they
quarterback
might.
for something? Like,
They might.
it's a wild world out there, man. People get draft drunk and make poor decisions. So see what happens.
I'm just happy with all these rumors that we can sit here and not freak out
Yeah,
and talk
you have
about
to.
it like normal human beings.
I mean, I feel like we've been through the worst. That's why this is like, this is just another day being a Niner fan at this point. So we're seasoned veteran fans.
Yeah, that's very true.
A lot
And
of
not
us
to
grew
mention
up with
my-
Steve-
train.
And not to mention
Yeah.
my entire timeline is like muted, like certain words, so I don't like see most of the stuff that happens. So
I see 5 things on a daily basis, right?
Yes.
Like,
I'm quite
George
happy
all
with my
sorts of stuff
timeline.
about what the
Kittle,
49ers do in
right.
the community. That's pretty
That's
much
a
all I
good
see.
thing.
Yeah.
Right. I see George
That's
Kittle
about it.
wrestling. That's pretty much all of it. But this is a franchise we grew up with, young Montana, right? Like, could you imagine if Twitter had existed during young Montana?
Oh my
Like-
God, it'd be the same
Oh
thing.
boy.
That
Worse than it
interview
is
that
today.
Bill Walsh did before the London Bowl in '88, where he comes out on NBC on a Saturday afternoon and says, "Well, we've got 2 quarterbacks." Twitter would have actually melted down. Like I think it would have
Imagine if they
destroyed the
traded Joe
servers.
Montana.
Oh, the hot takes
What
and the
would have
hot
happened?
oh man, Twitter when he got traded to KC.
I was
Oh,
just
my
gonna say,
goodness.
imagine how Twitter would have reacted to him getting rid of players well in advance of their expiration.
Yeah, for
Trading
sure.
Jared
Walsh
White
was-
and Ronnie
Yeah.
Lott. It seemed to
They
be
worked,
everyone
though.
hacking, right?
The trading up
Hashtag
for a guy
fire
from
Walsh
Mississippi
for 10
Valley
years.
State. What is wrong with this guy? Oh
Yeah.
my god, yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. 100%, right? Like you absolutely. If Twitter had existed Jerry Rice's first year, they would have wanted him off the team by week 9.
Oh yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Rice is a bust. Trade him.
Yeah, Rice is a bust.
Wow.
Trade him. They would have wanted Young traded after each NFC title game loss because it was his fault the defense sucked.
Yeah.
Those things. So we have really seen some good, bad, and ugly seasons, Deb. You're not wrong. By the way,
Oh,
Deb
yeah.
always has a spot in my 49er Hall of Fame because when I went to a event last year, she invited me to sit at her table knowing that I'm just this random East Coaster lost on the West Coast. Deb's great.
Debbie's. What's up,
Deb
Miss
is
Debbie?
salt of the
That
earth.
is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, shout out to everybody in the chat. Thanks for
Yeah.
joining in. So let's talk about the other quarterback, Brock Purdy. People are again freaking out that he's done for the season, just by a comment, which wasn't even the main headline of the Yahoo Sports article. Ty, I don't know if you want to pull that up and
Yeah,
let's take a
listen
listen.
to Brock's comment real quick.
Tell us
Love-
about your
I love
regular
it.
season expectations and how important it is to fully heal.
You know, obviously I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm in a lot of communication. We have a great plan set out just with the Niners, all the training staff and then the surgeon that I was with and the physical therapist that I'm with. So everyone's on the same page and we're all working to get me back as soon as possible, but in the right manner. And so that's where we're at, just taking it one day at a time. So.
Absolutely. Last question. Do you have a sense of if at some point this season you'll be able to play?
I'm not really sure, honestly. I think I just got to take it one day at a time, get healthy, start throwing again, things like that, and then just go from there. But it's all going to work out how it needs to.
Travis,
Yeah.
what do you think?
I think it's him just saying he doesn't want to reveal too much. It's I don't think anybody knows at this point. I don't think the doctors know. I don't think anybody knows. It's just taking one day at a time, and I feel like that's just a notorious answer, just the safest answer. Like I don't know what the future has. I'm just taking it one day at a time. I think people are reading into it way too much.
Cautious optimism.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. I mean, it's and they took like part of it, instead of like the entire entire audio, and that audio is courtesy of David Lombardi. But yeah, I don't know. I just it is one day at a time for sure.
It's the
Ty,
same
what do you think?
as the same as with his surgery, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wanted him to just rush out and have surgery.
I mean, there's setbacks. There's all type of things that could come into play.
Right.
You never know.
Yeah, but him and his doctors waited to the right time to have the surgery for the best outcome.
We on the
Fast forward to
Silicon Valley.
now, it's the same situation. He's waiting
everything-
to see, make sure everything's all right, so come back at the best time for the best outcome. And the quote itself is like we just talked about. It's the off season. It's content creation 101.
Mhm.
Let's take a mere clip and we'll manipulate it a little bit.
I mean, that's
Throw it
everything.
out
That's
there.
politics. That's everything you can think of
We'll,
on the
we'll
internet
throw it
these
out there
days.
and watch it
The
grow its
State of
legs
the
and
Union in 5 words.
Yeah.
Do a 15-minute
Right.
interview with someone and they take 7 words out of a soundbite and they make the headline out of it.
Yep.
That's it.
run. And
Clickbait.
that's the whole thing.
Gotcha.
Boom.
And everything's going as planned,
Yeah.
which is the main thing.
Which, and it's from everything we've heard the whole time, the next checkpoint is around June 10th. right?
Mhm.
That's when we're really going to know how he's doing, how things are going, things of that nature, right?
Yeah.
We really won't know then, though.
And we really won't know then, but it's just going to be like a mile marker, right? Like that's going to
like-
be like, oh, hey, he's doing all right, but you're not really going to know anything until that point, and even then, you're not going to know the whole deal.
Exactly. It's like on June 10th, they're going to check his full range of motion, check his strength, and be like, okay, can you do this pain-free?
Yeah, things can change at any moment.
That's it.
Yep.
Now you sound like Matt.
Which is why I don't think
waiting for the scar tissue shoe to drop.
which is
Oh,
why
I got to
don't
get that
think
screw out of there.
And I expect him to be the starter week 1 until Brock is ready to go. I think that's
So
the
you think Trey's going to start week 1, Travis?
Yeah, the highest probability. I think that's what will happen. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm not putting my flagpole down on the ground. I'm just saying if Brock is not ready to go week 1 and there's a QB competition between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, Trey Lance will absolutely get to start week 1.
That's a best case scenario because if he starts and he plays well and Brock Purdy comes back, guys, I mean, the NFL trade deadline's what, towards the end of October, early November now?
Yeah, it's like week 6 or 7, I think.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you might get a hell of a lot more for Trey Lance if you're really looking to trade him, right? Let me put that
I mean,
in
if he's
Dr.
balling,
Beal
they're not
air
taking
quotes.
him out, though. That's not
Right.
gonna
If
happen.
he's balling, they're not taking him out. But let's say he plays well in those starts, but they're like, hey, it's still going to be Brock's job, and Brock comes back and plays well, and then you've got 2 healthy quarterbacks. Well, now all of a sudden you go into the trade deadline and you've got 2 quarterbacks. Now you can start playing let's make a deal and actually do something in the season. To me, getting rid of Trey Lance now is selling low. It's ridiculous. All I've heard all day is, oh, you might be able to get a second rounder for him. They did trade 3 first-round picks last I checked. Like, you try to want to match that, and this team is really big into that. Like, look how long they held on to Jimmy Garoppolo to try to get peak value out of that. He ended up
They might have
being a
learned
comp
that
pick.
doesn't work.
Well, I mean but that was another crap show of a situation, right?
He sabotaged it, though.
Yeah, he gets a shoulder surgery, and then
For sure.
and then he's waiting to get cut, and then here comes the Trey Lance broken leg, and here comes Jimmy again. Like, that was just one of those deals, man. It's one of those deals. It was like when Selena and Bieber got back together like the 5th time, and then it didn't work. Like, and then they just moved on. Same deal.
The last reference I thought we would be making is a Bieber.
I gotta hit all the ranges, right?
You're on fire.
X
real in every
through, like
every
Z.
demographic
I gotta
here.
try to hit everybody. I want everybody to feel included.
That's funny.
Those 3 picks, one turned into Parsons, the other was taken from Miami.
Isn't that hilarious though? That Miami can't have nice things. It's really funny. It is funny that one of those picks has just gone into oblivion now. Like, it's away. It's been taken.
Yeah. So Travis, who was your favorite free agent signing?
The Gravedigger, obviously, the biggest. I thought that was such a stellar move. Our defense is going to be nasty. That D line is, my goodness. And I got high expectations for Drake Jackson, so I just think they're going to be. I think our D line is going to be incredible.
Yeah, I think Drake Jackson's going to definitely jump from year 1 to year 2 for sure. And then put him in there with Eric Armstead, and you have, Javon Kinlaw rotating in and out. I think I would have to agree with you for sure. Do you have any concerns with the O-line?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The game is won in the trenches, and our O-line got bullied by the Eagles in the playoffs, and that needs to be addressed. The playoffs are a completely different monster than the regular season, and scheming up run plays and all these things, To answer your question, yes, I am concerned about the O-line.
Who do you think starts at right tackle?
I don't even know. I don't know. Nah, I can't. It's such a toss up. I don't know. It could be me for all I know.
Oh, nice.
Could
You
be-
trying
could
out
be
for the
Ty.
team? Like, can
Could
we
be
break
Ty.
that news here?
If you could spit bars and play right tackle, that would be
Spit
some
bars
damn
and play
impressive stuff.
RT.
Breaking news,
Like-
you heard it here first.
Yeah. Big body Trav on the right side.
Maddie
Love
B, what's up? You're about to go out there, training camp.
Oh boy. You know what we do need a song about though, Travis? We need like a trenches song, like the O line, the D line, something like that.
Okay.
Putting
it
in
on the
requests
line.
now. Hello,
Putting in
TJ.
requests.
Can you play a
Request
trench
right now?
I
song?
know, right?
Go pull out some old Madden highlights of him talking about ass sweat and how like the more ass sweat, the better that the lines are doing. Like I feel like something like that would be really.
Wasn't that a
really well done.
situation at one point?
It was.
Kaepernick?
Multiple times.
Was it
I'm sure it
Kaepernick
was.
or Alex Smith? Someone had a
It was
a
Alex
snapper.
Mack.
It was Alex Mack
Yep.
with the sweaty
Yeah. Who? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Alex Mack.
James.
Who was
Yeah.
that? Jimmy G then?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
Alex Mack.
Yep.
We could use him right now.
Mm-hmm.
No faith in Jake Brendel?
I mean, I have faith. It just
Be nice to
It's
have.
like
him
we're
as
ready to
depth
win right
instead of
now.
Starting.
like we're ready to win. We have the most star-studded roster in the entire NFL, and a couple positions that are supposed to be like your guaranteed locks or some of our question marks, and it's not a good recipe for playoff football.
Yeah, I hear that. The 49ers player that you think will miss the most?
That we will miss the most? That's
Yes.
easy. Jimmy Ward, 100%.
Why?
Why?
Oh my God! Yeah, why? Are you on the same page with me, Ty?
Ty is not on the same page with you. On
I
Jimmy
was
Ward.
until this one.
Oh, you don't like Jimmy Ward?
What? What did he do?
He's gonna miss Mike
Everything.
Nicholas.
Tell me
It was
why,
a better
why is he
question.
going to be missed?
What didn't he do? He literally became a top tier player at every position that he was forced into. And then when someone gets injured, they just palm him off. And he excels.
So he's flexible.
I mean,
I give you points for that one. He's flexible.
Versatile.
That's a
good
understatement,
need.
but
Yeah.
he could do everything and he does it well. He's a Swiss Army knife. And on a team that is
Does he, though?
always riddled with injuries, having someone who can adjust and be tossed into another position is important
I give him that. He could keep a job.
to keep a job.
He could keep a job. What you want me to do, sir? Yo, want me to manage the front now? No
Oh.
problem. I got it. Need me to manage the back? Got that too.
But he's
Keep a
elite at
job.
all of it, though.
Elite. Oh, here we go.
Elite.
Define elite because I'm a raw. He
Elite.
can't-
What?
can't
Gotta
cover
be
well.
The top. Can't cover well,
No.
bro. He could play linebacker. He could play safety. He could play DB.
Okay,
He
we
could
got
come
plenty of
slot,
linebackers. We need safeties and slot guys.
And he
who can
started at
cover.
safety. And then once our safeties got figured out during his injury, he came in and balled in the slot where we had a problem with. And then he had 4 picks in 6 games.
He had
He was
3 picks on the
balling.
season, I think.
Oh,
2 of which he was just standing still.
hey, being
He
around
didn't
the
do
ball. you
anything.
said the same thing about Hufunga, just being around the ball. Jimmy Ward.
He's a player. I don't know about that elite part though. He can tackle like a linebacker. I'll give him that.
He's a baller.
5
bro.
yards in the box. That's where he's elite.
He's a baller, bro.
You get him in the
Now
back
I've-
end, woo,
I've
liability.
got a question about the wide receiver core. What's with the Chris Conley signing? What's all that about?
Couldn't tell you. Doesn't make
Like-
sense to me.
I have seen a lot of things this week. It does not make any sense to me whatsoever. It's not that I think Chris Conley's a bad player or anything like that. He's clearly been productive at places. But you already have Debo. You've got Brandon Ayuk. Juwan Jennings has signed his tender. You got Ray. You got Danny Gray. Tay Martin and Des Newsome are there, but they're there. They're depth. Really needed Chris Conley? Why? He's not a special teamer, so he's not doing the Trent Sherfield thing. Why? Brian Windhorse face. Why? Doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't understand it either.
It does
Can't
when
body.
you think about this. He has a trait that no other receiver has. He's big and fast. That's it. At 6'3", he now matches Juwan Jennings for
I
the
was going to
tallest
say,
receiver on the team, and he runs a 4.340.
so he's
So
faster than Juwan.
He's tall and fast. Most of our guys are like short and quick, or Juwan is tall and average speed.
Yeah, but do you think he's going to get
tall
more
and
play
fast.
than like a Danny Gray?
That remains to be seen. I think that's the competition right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we know Danny Gray had a problem with route running
He's
and
not gonna
blocking.
play over Ray McLeod. I mean,
No,
Juwan-
Ray does too much.
Yeah,
So now you're talking about who's going to be that fourth guy that you could throw in there and do some things with. And if he can run routes and block and use his height and speed to take advantage of things, he could possibly be that fourth, fifth receiver.
we just go through so many wide receivers every year. We sign wide receivers who basically never seen the field. I feel like this is just another one of those situations.
Yeah,
Could he
and I
just be
thought-
like a camp body?
And he could just be a camp body. You got to
Yeah,
fill that roster. Got to get 80, 90 guys for camp.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the time that you do it.
Yep.
I
And
only have
also
one other.
thought with the timing too. Juwan Jennings waited till the very last minute to sign, so I thought, well, maybe they're signing him just in case Juwan doesn't sign. I don't know the exact days of who signed on what day, but it seemed like it was very close together. So I don't know if they were bringing him in just in case.
And I don't think that has anything to do with Brandon Ayuk or Debo either.
Oh no.
No, absolutely
See,
not.
funny story. I don't either, but like people are going to put the tea leaves together. In fact, one of our guests, our previous guest, actually, I watched a little bit of a show that he had yesterday on that because what does the Conley signing mean? And then BA, Debo, etc. He's hyped up. He is so hyped up. He ate so many French fries. He is just ready to go. Like he's hyped.
Doing bicycle calisthenics.
Because you're running around back there like a maniac.
ECRG
And there you go.
Entertainment right there.
Telling you every time.
So let's switch to the draft. Draft is next week.
Yeah, next Thursday.
Yep.
Not soon enough.
I know, but the Trey Lance rumors are really going to warm up as we get closer and closer to the draft for sure.
Can't wait.
Yes.
Can't wait.
Same here. Positions of need. Who's the best player? Like, who do you think we draft? I don't know if you keep up with the whole college football thing.
I'm so busy right now in my life that the NFL draft has not been on the priority list. I tend to not really dive into it until like the draft day, especially since the Niners don't have a first or a second round pick. I'm not. This is not the year for me to glue in and focus on the draft. I got my music going. I'm a father. Those things have taken precedence over my ability to hone in on the draft prospects this year. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't disappoint.
No.
But drafting the offensive line.
Well, right. Well, my next
There you go.
question, I was actually going to say, like, what as far as position, not necessarily player name, but like position. How do you think we're going to go?
I mean, typical Niners. We like to focus on the defense. But I don't see too many holes in the defense. But it's got to be O-line. I know people have talked about some tight end. The Niners have been focusing on the tight end position to back up Kittle. But
Got to draft the Iowa kid, I think.
I feel like you just got to take the best player available. Really, like our team is so squatted up. Like we're disgusting. I think we have the best roster on paper in the NFL. So as long as people can stay
True that.
healthy, it's going to be really tough to beat us. We just need an O-line to keep our quarterbacks upright. Maybe draft 4 more quarterbacks so that when we get into the playoffs,
That's what I'm talking about, Trav. Speak on it. And 2 kickers while we at it.
yeah, why not? A kicker who could throw the
Betting them
ball.
picks.
I read that it's a very cornerback rich and tight end rich draft class. And I have a feeling that we'll be looking at cornerbacks in our earlier picks, whatever we can do in our earlier picks. If we don't trade up, if we want somebody for the edge, an edge rusher type, we're going to have to trade up for that. I don't think we're going to get that in the late rounds. Or tackle, we might trade up for a tackle that we want, but corners and tight ends we'll take in those picks that we have where we have them, because I think there'll be plenty of talent there to take.
Well, if we actually had a tight end to block in the NFC Championship game, that injury would have never happened. So,
Wrong.
well,
I don't know.
Wrong.
I don't know.
what do you think,
that's
Ty?
wrong. You know that's wrong. You know what happened on that play.
Why is it wrong?
Quarterback hesitated. He didn't trust what he saw. He didn't trust what he saw. He didn't let the ball go. He got hit. It just happens.
It was a freak accident too.
Freak
That's
accident.
true.
He just got hit. An arm hit
Freak
another
accident.
arm and tore a ligament. How freaky is that?
That's just, but that's the Niners, man. We got
That's the Niners.
that's the Niners for you.
That's Niners. We
When it
get
comes to
players who
quarterback
tear
position,
ligaments running on grass by themselves.
Yeah, what can go wrong will go wrong.
Standing up, getting out of a chair. Okay, that's
Boom,
all I have. for
torn
you.
meniscus, gone 6
That's-
weeks or whatever.
The other day, my girl stands up and straightens out her knee. She's like, ow, 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 ow. I'm like, you okay? You tear your meniscus? And she didn't get the joke clearly. And then I had to explain it to her. And she's like, really? I'm like, yes. That's the weird crap that happens to my football team. Like, it can be mid-May, and their starting running back will just tear his meniscus. It's
Please
fine.
don't
It's no big deal.
speak that into existence.
No. No.
Not this year.
Here's the
No,
candlestick
I don't.
dirt.
Yeah.
We have
Connecticut
to
sage.
do-
Is there
we have to
Connecticut
do,
sage
like-
here?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
we have to
tonight
do
is
sage before all this starts.
the eclipse, new moon eclipse tonight. So shake the candlestick dirt, say all the positive things.
That's right.
Yes.
I already gone on record and said no 49ers quarterback will get injured this season. No running back will get
No
injured
injuries.
this season as well. I'm adding
We are
on to it.
winning the Super Bowl. We're
There you
speaking
go.
it into existence.
Yes,
Exactly.
absolutely.
I have some stuff to say about the 49ers running back situation later that y'all are going to want to stick around for. It's a very interesting thing that I noticed this week, mainly about Christian
Ooh.
McCaffrey, but we'll talk about that later.
Huh.
That's called a tease for those of you who are unaware.
I already know what it is.
Tease.
I think you will. You might
Teasing
know.
the tease.
I already know. Him and Trey Lance have been hanging out together. They're cool as heck.
No, it's not that. It's actually about numbers.
Oh,
and
okay.
something else. But we'll
I'll
talk
save
about
that
it
for
later.
another
But
show then.
trust
I
me,
was going to say, I thought
it's
Chris had been hanging
probably
out
similar.
with his fiance, looking like they're traveling everywhere.
He's been doing
Yeah,
a lot
right?
of working out too.
Yeah, his workout is crazy. Have you seen that, Travis?
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah.
His work.
I got tired just looking at it.
Yeah,
It's like, whew,
it off.
I need a break.
I feel bad about myself.
right. Makes me go like, oh man, like, geez, look at this dude.
I'm like eating a pastry. I'm watching it.
Eating a donut, eating a donut, getting
We're here
tired, just watching
Drinking
it.
our drinks.
French
going,
fry.
Yeah.
French fry.
Hold on, let
French
me get
fry.
my beer.
Right, yeah. Hold my beer. No, really. I can't do it anymore because I'm too tired
Right.
from watching him. Yes, correct.
Travis, I wanted to jump into your music a little bit with your CMC song. How much fun was it doing that song? Talk a little bit about that.
Oh, it was a blast. Rock and roll is actually my well, when I first started doing music, it was hip hop, but as I got older and got into Nirvana, and I just really fell in love with guitars, and I joined a band as I got older, and really there's nothing greater than having a band behind you when you perform. And so to be able to dive back into my roots and do a rock and roll song, it was great. I highly I loved it.
You play, don't you?
No,
Guitar.
I don't play any instruments. My vocal cord is my instrument. That's what I tell people.
Well said. Well said.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, the song is great. I'm a huge fan of the song. Although
I
all your
love it.
music, I have the I have a specific playlist for game day. So I have the George Kittle song, I have the Debo song, Trey Land, like I have E40 stuff and
Got to.
Some of Dave's.
Yo, any feedback from CMC on the song at all?
Nah, man. To be honest with you, bro, it's pretty weird. I haven't had any of the players personally reach out to me. I've heard feedback from other people who have within the organization that have heard them listening to it or been around when it's been played. And when I first dropped the George Kittle song, I forget who, Kyle Juszczyk, supposedly, I don't know if this is true or not. This is allegedly
There you go.
Allegedly played it in the locker room, like, hey man, there's a song about you. And apparently everyone in the locker room just started going crazy. And then George is like, doing his WWE like hair. But I don't know if this is true or not.
I can see that.
With
I
my
can see
own
that.
eyes,
Exactly.
I think that it's true. It makes me feel good about myself. But no player has personally reached out to. I mean, I talk to some players, but I just don't talk to them about music.
Gotcha. I thought you might have heard something. You know how it is. It was like, oh man, I was talking to my sister's cousin's gardener's brother, and they worked on cutting some grass outside of John Lynch's house, and he heard him playing the George Kittle song, and I was like, oh man, that's cool. One of those type of stories.
Yeah. Well,
You never know. It's coming.
Yeah. I'm not worried about it.
Well, I rock out to your stuff, so I hope that makes you feel better.
No, it does make me feel good.
Oh, the faithful
I
definitely.
appreciate it.
Yes, we
I
do
appreciate
too.
it.
We bump it. Oh yeah.
I mean, hell,
That's
it's
what
part of
matters
our
the most.
intro.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
rock to it every week.
I
Yes.
appreciate y'all.
Last one for me, Travis. Is there anything going on for you in the future that you could actually talk about and let your fans know?
I'm working on some non-49er related music, but I'm also I'm trying to gear towards making an original beat for the 49er Faithful song.
Okay.
It's in the works, and then a potential new feature. A lot of ideas just get thrown at me, and I'm so nonchalant about everything. I'm like, sure, whatever. Like my team, they talk to me about ideas. Like the CMC song was their idea. I didn't even want to do it at first. I'm like, no, I've already done a Debo, already did a Kittle. They wanted me to do a Robbie Gold song because I met Robbie Gold, and he told me, he was like, I'll stay if you make me a Robbie Gold song. And he was kidding, but it was just like they were pushing me to make a Robbie Gold song, and then we traded for CMC, and they're like, do it, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do it. And then they're like, make a rock and roll song, and I'm like, well, I am interested in making a rock and roll song. And then
Robbie Gould's still out there, by the way. I'm just
I
saying,
know.
just
I
throwing
know.
this out there.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe
do
he
another
needs
sort
that
of
to lure him
I'm
back
gonna make
in.
a song right now. I'll be right back.
Rockin' Robbie Gould. Let's go.
Cue some
I
Pearl
you remember what my
Jam.
idea was if I was going to do it? The 24 karat gold by Bruno Mars?
Yeah.
24 karat magic.
Yeah,
I was going to do something like Robbie Gold kicking field goes through the air.
Oh,
And then-
it's
and-
a vibe.
and
It's
then-
a whole vibe.
And then you show the
Do it.
kick in Green Bay with Tabor Pepper like running towards the thing.
Yeah, man.
Right.
So that's what I was going to do. But yeah. So
Perfect.
as far as music goes, just working on some non-Niner related music. I got you guys are probably not Warrior fans, but I got a Warrior song out right now.
Mhm.
And then so we'll see what happens with the 23 remix for 49er Faithful. If I do one, if it's still an
Okay.
if.
Yeah,
I
we're
think
going to
you
cut
should
this
do one.
part out of the show and just leave in the fact that you said you was working on one
Yeah.
and put it out there. Because,
Great idea.
content creation, baby. It's
You
all
wanna
about the
know
edit.
what's my
all
biggest
about the
trouble
edit.
with making Niner music for 49er Faithful is that we never know who the quarterback is going to be. So
Every year you got to
Yeah.
change the quarterback.
Yeah, like
Right.
last year, I started the song with Jimmy G, and then I went to Trey Lance, and then Trey Lance goes down week 2, and then Jimmy
Yep.
G comes back, and I'm like, okay, I gotta put Jimmy G back into the song,
Yep.
but the video's already out at this point. And then I start performing it with Jimmy G. And then Brock comes in, and I'm like, bro, this is 3 mixes in one season? Come on. At this point, I'm just going to wait till like week 14 to release the 23 remix to make sure we know who's playing quarterback.
Instead of
gotta
saying
do the
their name,
remix.
just how they bleep out expletives, just put a big old
Yo,
bleep in
there you
there.
go.
And then you can
There you
fix it
go.
later, right?
I'm just going to say quarterback.
Just say quarterback.
The
There you go.
quarterback
Keep it generic.
reaction to a drop.
Drop back. Yep.
You could just say rollout because there's always going to be a rollout, right?
Yep. True,
Yep.
true. Oh, then we tried it for CMC, right? So I had to sub out Elijah Mitchell for CMC, and I just had to take a different strategy next year.
And there's not enough syllables. It doesn't. Yeah, that's tough, man.
It
Right.
is.
Yeah, I always thought of CMC, your dynamite, CMC. Yeah.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah, that's a
ACC.
good one. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, like I mentioned earlier about the O line and the D line, if you do use that, just shout, make a shout out to Niners Jess in your song.
Okay.
Actually, not only does she want a song, she wants a shout out in the
She
song.
wants a name
Right.
drop in the
Yeah.
song.
It's
fine.
Name
Man,
No
drop.
big deal.
Francis.
Yeah.
I'm shooting my shot here.
Good night to Jess.
What do you got to do? Yeah.
That's right. All right. Any other questions for Travis, guys?
How do you
No,
keep
man,
that beard so healthy? That's my last question for you. How are you keeping
Lie to
that?
you. I'm
Beard
probably
gang.
the worst at
Well,
taking
no.
care of my beard. Like I don't do nothing to it.
There's no conditioner regimen or anything
Well,
like
I
that.
use a beard a beard wash, but like I don't put oil in it. I barely even brush it. I'm horrible, man. Just
All right,
just
wanted to
a rich
leave that.
shampoo. That's about it.
Sleep on it, occasionally wash it. That's it. Okay, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
Like once every 3 weeks, wash it.
Mine's getting ready to come back, so I don't. I
Yeah.
usually trim it up right before the season, and then I don't touch it again until the end of the season. So it gets a little long at times. So
It does.
Just wanna-
I do groom it. Maybe that's what helps. Every time I bring it down and I line it up, it makes it look like it's better than it is. I don't
got
know.
to be what it is.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Fair
he'll
enough.
be Matty Claus by the time the playoffs come around.
Correct. Yeah.
Hey, man, it's all good. Fear
Keeps
the
my
beard.
face warm when I'm getting yelled at by Eagles fans. It's fine.
Yeah. Fear the beard. I respect it.
Beard tips by Travis King. All right.
Yeah, man.
Travis,
I was gonna say,
thank
man,
you.
I love the videos
Go ahead.
you do and that you drop on social. I was gonna say you should drop some of those shorts on YouTube, man.
I know. I need to. I just actually heard something that YouTube is now the biggest platform for short clips.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I just
Make
found
it
that out
happen.
like literally 2 days ago. So I need to start doing that.
Those same vids you be dropping, to throw it up on YouTube also, man. Get that channel popping.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Travis, keep doing your thing. We love your work. We especially love that you're a huge 49ers
Yeah,
fan.
big
Thank you so
fan.
much for coming back on the show.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we'll have you on again sometimes down the road.
Okay,
And
yeah, for sure. I love you
See
guys. I
during the
appreciate you.
season.
yeah, we love
Yeah,
you
yeah.
too.
Appreciate you too, man.
Go
I'll
Niners.
definitely
Enjoy
come
the
back.
rest
Thank
of the
you.
off season, and good luck with your upcoming work.
All right. Thank you. Let's go, Niners.
Let's go Niners!
All right, y'all. Have a good one.
All
You
right.
too.
Take it easy,
care.
dude.
Right.
All right.
Jameson had the tap down there. It's good. It's good. By the way, we're in a transition period right now. So just as a heads up, iesportsradio.com is the place you want to be to keep track of us. It's iesportsradio.com /
East Coast Red and Gold.
Perfect. All right. That wasn't in my reading, but it's been around for 8 years. iesportsradio.com as well. And you can check out the Patreon tiers so that you can take the next level in supporting IE Sports Radio. Again, iesportsradio.com and iesportsradio.com / East Coast Red and Gold.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to us, East Coast Red and Gold. All right, guys. So let's chat. Maddie, you're up.
All right. I got a thing for you guys. All right.
Hit us.
I don't know if you guys are. Some people are into betting, some people aren't, but this also revolves around football. So I'm going to ask you guys 2 questions. Who do you think? I'm going to give you 2 players. I'm going to ask you which one you think has a better chance of being the NFL MVP this year. Okay? Davis Mills or Christian McCaffrey?
This is tough.
I know. Take your time.
It's close, but I'm going to lean toward Christian.
Right. Rest of you as well, probably?
Yes,
Christian
CMC for me.
McCaffrey, Davis Mills?
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean, we're going to be homers.
Okay. And that seems fair, right? I'm trying to take the most ridiculous
Hot take.
comparison I could.
Mm-hmm.
At DraftKings right now, you can lay $100 on Christian McCaffrey to win NFL MVP this year, which, and I'm sure Ty can back me up on this, the numbers that Christian McCaffrey put up in this offense last year were ridiculous. They were like Marshall Faulk, Edgar, and James numbers if you produced them over a whole season, okay? If you laid $100 on Christian McCaffrey to win the MVP right now, right this second, it would pay back $10,000, okay? If you laid $100 on Davis Mills to win NFL MVP right now, and he won it, it would also bring back $10,000. So let's just think about this for a second. Davis Mills and CMC have the exact same thing for MVP.
Uh-huh.
That doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Nope.
None. And Trey Lance's odds are better than Brock Purdy's, which I also find funny. But, you know, we know why that. But yeah, like I can't, folks, if there's anything you've ever gleaned from this show and you live in a state where this stuff is legal, I would put down a couple of shekels on CMC to win the MVP this year. Because if he has the same sort of year that he had last year, put out over the full season, and the 49ers win their division and finish 1 or 2 in the league, I feel like he could be the MVP. So, and that seems like a profitable thing. So just as a heads up, I stumbled upon that this week and almost fell over. I had to read it 4 times. I'm like, is this a joke? Davis Mills and Christian McCaffrey. Okay. So put that out there.
Interesting.
That is very interesting.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
I'm not a big
It's
gambler,
shocking,
so
like,
I
wait a
don't really
minute.
follow a lot of that whole DraftKings thing. But
I do a lot of parlays.
yeah, like the weekly little, $5 here, I'll do that, but I'm not gonna go plop down.
Like,
Big money
you
on
pick like 6. I go crazy. I usually pick like 6 games, and usually I go 5 for 6, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
That's my thing on Underdog. I'll go 4 for 5 every week. I swear to God. It's like, what? And like the one that I lose is like, should have been a layup and somebody missed it.
Yes.
By like
It's always that
a
one.
half a reception, or they leave in the first quarter with a head injury and don't return. Like there's always some sort of
Fluke,
stupid
right?
garbage. So it's like, yeah, whatever.
I
But
think
for
it
different
was-
things,
Go ahead.
I was going to say for different things I've discovered over the last few years, like this is when you're going to find the best odds for different things, like teams winning the division. 49ers odds, they're favorites right now, right? They're favorites. But if you want to go to like the NFC South, like the Falcons are 275 to win that division. Panthers are 350. 100 to win 275. I would probably take the Falcons to win that division. A lot of people seem to believe in the Saints. The Saints are the favorite in that division. I don't believe it.
Really?
But there's different sorts of things right now, and there's a lot of 49ers related things. Like Nick Bosa to be Defensive Player of the Year wouldn't be a bad one either. So,
Yeah.
a few different things out there. Whether 49ers go over on the win total this year, maybe under the win total, depending on who's playing quarterback week 1. So, see what happens. But there's a lot of different angles if you're interested in that sort of thing out there, gang.
Yeah, I
That's all I
remember. I think it was 2 years ago. I think the Packers were playing the Ravens, and the Ravens were killing the Packers. And then all of a sudden, and that was like my last game that I needed. And then the Packers came back to win it.
Do you guys know Vic, the guy that does all the spiky mohawk things
Uh-huh.
with his hair?
Mhm.
He put money on the Niners the year we went to the Super Bowl and won a big payout. Like
Nice.
rolled it out in a cart kind of money.
Wow.
$100 grand, I think on the team or some ridiculous number like that.
Wow.
Good for him.
Yep. He has it posted on his I think on his Facebook or Instagram page, but he's like, now that it's safely in the bank, what I did. people
I
walking
started paying
out.
attention to this stuff a little bit longer ago. Like I've been betting for a long time, but they didn't really start making it so that you can bet on who was being drafted when or where until recent years.
Yeah.
And the Trey Lance one was the one that got me, because if you would pick Trey Lance to be picked third, you would have, I think it was like 50. He was at 1,500 at one point. So like if you bet 100, you'd win 1,500 for him to get picked at number 3. So it's been real interesting to watch some of these moves. Like I said, Bryce Young, you could have had him at plus 350 3 weeks ago, and now he's the odds-on favorite. You'd have to win, lay down 125 to win 100, or lay down 200 to win 100 at this point. So it's not worth it. But
Right.
crazy times out there right now as we get ready for the draft next week, and however many of these picks get made. I'm wondering if all these picks are going to get made, or if they're going to trade a few for next year and kind of trade into that sort of deal and try and take advantage of some things. Because I don't know if there's room on this roster for 11 players, right? Like, unless they're really good. Like, I don't know.
I don't see us using all 11 picks.
Yeah, we usually don't. We usually will trade back and take somebody's next year pick and give them one of our spots. Like we're at what, 99, 101, and 102, or 2 and 3. We're going to pick 3 in a row. Probably not. We would trade that back and let somebody take something next year in exchange for our pick. Or we'll trade that up with something else and a couple of those picks.
Jameson
I
is
loved it.
definitely making his cameo.
Cameo, right?
Right.
Drive
One
by,
thing
thumbs
we can
up.
do.
I love it.
Slide through.
The best was his feet coming out of your head, like doing little bicycles earlier. That was great.
Good time. Good time.
Hello, Jameson. So as far, I mean, we'll talk a lot more next week about the draft. We have a cool guest coming on next week. Pretty cool. Talk about the draft, but I honestly think tight end is up there, along with defensive end. And I saw that they were bringing in a couple running backs too for their 30 visits.
Yep.
So I feel like running back is going to be up there as well, which it's kind of concerning for me because I like TDP and I like Jordan Mason. What do you guys think happens there? I mean, we have CMC, we have Elijah Mitchell, and then what?
I think Elijah Mitchell gets traded.
Boom. See, I was going to say something along those lines. Think about how this team doesn't really pay for the running back position. We know CMC is there. He's on the contract, and it's a nice, affordable contract for us. But the backup to him, the depth, is where they'll rotate. And Elijah Mitchell, if we can, flip, he was what, a 6th-round pick? Imagine if we could flip him for a 4th or a 3rd, even a 5th. You still get a good return on investment there. Or maybe you just let him walk and get something as a comp pick back, and you draft a guy to replace him for the next season, 2024. That's just what the 49ers do.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Go ahead, Becca.
I think that's exactly the strategy the Niners like to employ all the time with these positions. I didn't have running back high on my list of things that we were going to, attack first in the draft. I figured we would go after cornerbacks, but that makes perfect sense to me. You imagine if we do want an edge rusher, we're going to have to trade up for that. So there's Elijah Mitchell on the trade block with a couple of these later round picks for somebody.
I don't know. Like with his injuries though, like you don't think that would like hinder like a trade, a possible trade?
It didn't hinder a trade of Jeff Wilson. It
Exactly.
didn't hinder they got a decent return on him, frankly, for a guy that really wasn't some game-changing running back, but they still didn't get a 5th, I think, for him.
And, an undrafted backup guy.
Right.
Got a 5th for. Doesn't get
It's
much
like
better
buying
than
a
that.
shed and selling it for $150,000, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what it is. It's like, oh no,
Yeah.
this shed now has we put a bathroom in it and a deck, so now it's $150,000. So
Exactly.
you bought the shed for 25, put 25 worth of work in it. 150. Like that's kind of what they did with him, right? Like that's what happened.
Go Niners.
Go now. Oh, he's
Wow,
so ready for
the
season.
analogies today from Maddie. We have a beaver analogy, and now we have a
They
ship.
don't
For
stop.
real estate.
They just-
Right.
They don't stop. They do not
keep
stop.
rolling.
They will never stop. And you never know what it might be. And you'll be like, wow, that actually does make sense. I can't believe it does, but it does. I was describing memes long before people were making them. So, again, always ahead of my time. It's
The
fine.
original meme generator.
Right.
There
Yes.
you
My
go.
head was. It's craziness.
Becca, I don't think we got your take on the whole Brock Purdy thing before.
On the whole Brock Purdy thing, I think that it's cautious optimism. I think his comments are out there to really play down his return. I do think, the doctors and everyone were clear about the time it takes to heal. And by all accounts, expectation and whatever was, came out of the surgery is as expected. It went exactly as we planned. So I think the repair went well. The healing is going well. The return time, I think that's going to be something that they're not going to try and overplay. Even if he's doing really well with recovery, they're going to keep that card close to the vest and not really, push that out there too much. I just don't see them being like, oh, he's firing the hole, he's doing great, just because what if something happens and there is a setback. So I think, you're going to hear a lot of downplay talk right up to the very, end of camp to the beginning of the season. I don't think they're going to want to let the cat out of the bag too soon about where they feel Brock Purdy is.
And I want to go on record. I loved his answer. Like, no one's talking about that. Like, I loved his answer. Temper expectations. Like, look, I know everybody's like trying to rush this thing, or a lot of people are trying to rush this thing, and they're like, when can you get back? When can you get back? Like, chill.
Right, exactly.
I'm going according to the plan. I'm going to make sure everything's right for me. And when I'm back, I'm back. But I'm not just going to rush back because, you guys think I should be back.
I should be
at a
starting
certain time. Yeah, exactly. No, it doesn't work that way. I love it. And I hope he continues to, speak to that.
Well, he is very diplomatic when he does speak. He's got that gift, and he's shown that, in the past already. So I don't see him coming out saying anything, out of line or
not anything out of line, but just tempering expectations and speaking his truth. Just like when everybody was like, when you getting surgery? Is surgery happening? And he's like, wait a minute. Talk to the doctors. Right. We're holding off. I'm getting some extra opinions.
Yep.
He did all the right things and said all the right things. And I love that for him.
I also like the fact that he's a realist, like even on Radio Row, like Super Bowl, saying like, like he pretty much expects to compete, and there's that word again, compete. But he just, I have to agree with you, Ty. Like I liked his answer as well.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie,
what you want out of your franchise, to me, it's what you want out of the guy that you want to be your franchise quarterback, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly what you want. It's an early Tom Brady, stick to the script sort of deal, right? Like whatever the team needs, I'm here for. Whatever the team needs, I'm here for. I might be out all year. Who knows? As somebody who likes to assume the worst, it's good for somebody to put out there that like, hey, there's a possibility I might not play this year, right? And then if he starts week 1, you're like, damn, can't believe he's that tough, right? Remember in '86 when Montana injured his back, they thought he was done. They thought his career was over. And he came back that year and ended up playing for the rest of the season. These things happen all the time. Craziness happens. And then they thought with his elbow it was going to be a couple of weeks. It turned out he was out for a year and a half. So, you never know. You never know with any of this stuff. So for him to say that and not if he had dropped anything like, I really want to be ready for week 1, you know what the headline makers would do,
Yep.
right? Purdy
Right,
targets
what he
week
says.
1.
He
Yeah,
says he says
return.
he'll be back.
Plans to be
week
the
1 and
starter.
starting.
Week 1.
Yep. He will be starting week 1. That would have been the line.
100%. And that would have been, oh, well, that was very disrespectful to Trey Lance that he would say that. And like all the other garbage you can hear.
Yeah.
All the things he didn't say, Didn't say he loved puppies. He must hate puppies. It's kind of the same ball of wax.
Exactly.
Same deal. Oh, he didn't say anywhere in there that he liked puppies. He must not like them. Like it's the same. It's the same crap. So we all just have to grin and move on with it. But to me, that's exactly the type of guy that you want representing and saying and keeping the team secrets and keeping things close to the vest, man. Like that's all you can ask for. He's not gonna, go out and say some things that aren't gonna help this team, right? So
Create firestorms and drop lightning rods and cause chaos. Yeah, he's very, very measured in his words.
And it truly
Right.
doesn't take anything. You can literally slap up some prayer hands over somebody getting a job and like people think you want out of town. So,
Yep.
Did you guys read that article, by the way, or see that interview with Trey Lance? I didn't catch who it was with or what it was about, but I guess when he came back after posting that thing about Rand Carthon, Kyle asked Trey if he knew about how he was getting traded to the Titans, all because he did that, right? It was like a big joke in the facility. So, that's what they thought about it.
Yeah, I remember. Okay.
I got a kick out of that. I read that this week somewhere. I'll try to find the link for it. It was part of my crazy week, but I was like, and it seems like a very dry sense of humor Kyle thing to say. Like, hey,
Mhm.
Yeah.
you're looking at Nashville housing by any chance? Because you might want to, but no.
I think it's good that they could joke about stuff like that.
Yes. I think it's real. Like, like it's not some eggshell thing and let's not really talk about it. So it adds that little extra touch of humanity that I think sometimes gets missed in this sport as a whole, whether it's from
Probably.
fandom to the business part and things of that nature.
It's probably healthy too, because then the ice is broken and now you can kind of joke about it and not have it be like, is that real? Like, is that even a possibility? You can't imagine with the ego these guys have that some of that stuff probably does actually get under their skin once in a while. So, I think being able to joke about it or have the coach come up and make some comment that will allay some of those fears or put that to rest is good. It's good for the player. It's good for the team.
It's not good for the fan base though, because they don't actually read the end of it. Like they just read the beginning and then
They just read the headline. They never actually
they tweet the link. They don't read the story. Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
They don't
just
research at
react
all.
to the headline. No,
They don't research
No.
at all.
there's no.
I mean,
there's no
and you know
Adam
what? And
Peters going to the Texans. No research at all.
Right. And and the whole thing with the Brock Purdy, with that article, like I said earlier, it would like that wasn't even the headline. I forget what the headline actually was, and then you go, I think it's like 6 paragraphs down, and then it mentions about how like him allegedly being done for the season.
Mhm.
But speaking of Adam Peters and Caserio, what do you guys think of that situation? Ty, go ahead.
I don't think anything of it. There was nothing to think of it.
Oh yeah, we
I know.
talked about
I
this
know
last-
what
It was
Ty
a
wants to
guy
say, which is what makes
literally
me laugh
sat
so
on his
hard.
couch and said, "I need some clicks." Just
But
put this out there.
Just remember the original couch it came from. Okay, the original couch it came from was John McClane's couch. Then after that, it went to the Pro Football Talk echo chamber, and then from there it was taken where it was. And then Nick Caserio this week compared himself to Leonardo DiCaprio from Wolf of Wall Street. Right? That's how it went this week. That's how that whole news cycle went. So we'll see.
but it was like a rumor
Mhm.
with no research or base. Then
It,
there's
it
another
wasn't
rumor.
so much
Then let's
that it was fact.
attach to that rumor.
Right. It was
Like,
crazy.
This is what we doing in the off season?
That is what we're doing in the offseason. You know, John McClain's been around that team for a long time. So
Right.
somebody told him something. And when he put it out, of course, he's not working for the paper anymore. He works on his own, doing his own thing.
Right,
So I don't know
right.
how that whole thing goes. But if he puts that out there, somebody's either A, trying to put it out there to find a leak, or B, it's really going to happen. And it sounds to me like they're trying to find a leak somewhere. You know what I mean? That's what it
No,
really
they're trying
sounds
to
like.
generate something. John McClain put up that, hey, there's going to be some reorganization.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he put out. He said he doesn't know exactly what, but there's going to be some reorganization within the front office. Someone took that and said Nick Casario's leaving, and he's going where? Oh man, where can he go? Oh, he was with the Patriots previously.
Has to go back there. Yeah.
I'm gonna just put it out there that he's going back to the Patriots because I have no brain cells and I got to do the easiest thing possible. Boom, that's where that rumor came from. And of course, the content creation playbook. How can I get some clicks and views? I'm going to attach ex-49er player person to an existing rumor and just throw it out there. Boom. That's the formula. That's what happened. And of course, people went crazy. I'm sure if you go on Twitter and check that thing, 8,000 views or something like that. It's ridiculous.
It's insanity.
David,
Yep.
you are correct. Speculation runs like a wildfire in the 49er empire.
Like
Indeed.
Hulkamania in the 80s. Nothing runs wilder. Straight up.
Wow.
What you gonna do when the rumors went wild on you?
Say
I'm
your
just
prayers, eat
glad.
your
I'm
vitamins.
just glad that we, like I said earlier, we could talk about
Oh, that's
things
what glad.
and put context to things,
Have
and
to.
we just but we just don't come on here and just kind of,
You
take that
same.
narrative and
run with it.
it.
I
Yeah.
can't. I physically
No,
can't. Like,
I
if
can't
I was
either.
doing the other stuff, like, I would be ill and hate everything. I was in real sports talk radio for a little while. Define real. I mean, it's radio in Maine and there was a tower. But, like,
It's real enough.
it's real enough, right? You'd be surprised. You would really be surprised for the whole thing and some of the stuff that go on there. But I really learned a lot about it during the summertime, watching NBA rumors and just radio host from blah 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 says blah blah blah. I'm telling you right now, I don't think I have ever. I would say probably 98% of the time, if it originated from a radio host, it is not true. That's it. And it's not because of the radio host per se. It's because whoever's feeding them the info is trying to do something, right?
Mhm.
Or the radio person's just like, yeah, whatever. I gotta get somebody to listen and get these phones to fill up for an hour. They don't do things like say, hey, what's your favorite wrestling entrance theme over the last 20 years? Give us a call now. Which you can do, and people will literally light up the phones like it's
Yep.
Christmas
It's
time
easy.
Mhm.
in the middle of the day. They don't want to do that. Instead, they want to take your Patriots calls and get your Patriots hot takes from people who don't know how the salary cap works, and they don't know how this stuff works, right? So you want the average people that don't know what's going on. So
Wrong
I think
quarterback,
trade-
Steve-O.
yeah.
I take.
Hot take.
Hot
I'll
take.
take.
Do I think I don't? Well, it's part of that. It's part of that interview I saw this week that Lance doesn't want to play anywhere but here. But that's not realistic. Odds are that's it's not going to be his choice
Well,
to make.
Hold on, Matt. When he said here, where was he?
He said San Francisco. Is there another
He's
team coming
been-
into San Francisco? He doesn't want to be in
But
Santa
he's
Clara.
but
Is that
he's
what he
also
means?
But
Trey
it-
has
but it-
also been in Texas.
Oh, no. Wow, that's really close to D'Amico Ryans.
Oh,
He used to coach the 49ers defense.
Oh.
I don't know if you know that.
They're tight.
Hot take.
Isn't Trey vacationing in Mexico?
Watch out
right
now.
Doesn't the NFL want to expand to Mexico?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's got to be what it is. You know,
Stop it right now.
Read the tea leaves, y'all.
Trey Lance, new QB, one of the conquistadors, man.
There
or
you
whatever
go.
you call them in Mexico
I
City.
was drunk on Japanese tea up there.
The Tijuana Conquistadors.
The Tijuana Conquist. Oh man, you can get that old.
Runs.
Oh, you got to hire Ricardo Rodriguez to do that. You have to. You got to go full like Ricardo Rodriguez, WWE guy, and he rolls the R. And, yeah, you got to do that. That would bring him out of retirement. That'd be good for him.
I had too much vacation time.
Nice count up, man. Did you get good? Ty, the serious question: did you get any good football talk while you were in Japan with anybody?
Not one bit.
Okay, I'm just wondering. This is a global game. That's why I'm asking, right?
It's
they
a
played
global
Japan
game.
Bowls and things like that. So I wasn't sure if anybody said 49ers. Like, because typically anywhere I go, there's like
Right.
I'm at Mohegan Sun today and going to the Yankees tomorrow, and saw somebody come into the place we were eating earlier, and my daughter's like, "Hey, 49ers shirt." I just wasn't sure if there's anything like that in Japan, but apparently not.
Wore my hat,
so.
wore my bright red hat every day. Was
Nothing.
waiting for a shout out for somebody, someone, a point.
Not even a
anything.
bang. Nothing.
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 All right.
I will say, when
Not
I
that
went to
global, I
China
guess.
and Taiwan, Lin Sanity was a big deal, so I brought them all Lin shirts over to Taiwan.
Nice.
So, like, they were into that, but not so much football. Basketball for sure. A lot more global talk.
All right. Does anybody have anything else?
No, not till the 2-minute warning.
Let's do the hurry up offense and the 2-minute warning.
And we're off.
Go ahead, Maddie.
R.I.P. Dave Wilcox, one of the 49er greats. Jess posted a card earlier with an autograph on it. Dave Wilcox is a real dude. He was part of some teams that weren't great, and then part of some teams that got vanquished by the Cowboys, unfortunately. So that's just how that goes. But had a great career at University of Oregon, and then of course played well in the National Football League, so well that the Pro Football Hall of Fame is going to be lowering their flag to half staff tomorrow because of the death of Dave Wilcox. So R.I.P. Dave Wilcox and his family. And best wishes to his family, pardon me.
Yeah, same. RIP to Dave Wilcox. Looking forward to the draft coming up here on whatever we are, 10 days away or something. So looking forward to that. See where the Niners, what kind of rabbits we pull out of the hat. Go Niners, and we'll see you all next week.
Faithful, just hold your head, take a deep breath, and be calm. You're going to see a lot of the same old stuff rehashed that you've heard before. Don't fall for the bait. Don't buy into it. Don't retweet. Don't quote tweet. Don't do anything because you're just feeding the beast.
Eat it
just chill. That's right. Use some common sense and let it go.
Rest in peace, Dave Wilcox. Also, thank you to Travis King for coming back on the show. It was a fun one today. And again, I'm reiterating what Ty said. Don't fall for the clickbait, especially with Brock Purdy's words and the Trey Lance alleged trade. It's not happening. And, Brock Purdy's taking it one day at a time, as we all should. But anyway, go Niners. And we will see you next week. Like and subscribe.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3. We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly. Montana looking, throwing in the end zone.